Listen, okay, I'm going to say something that might surprise you. I didn't like that tweet. I actually don't think the complaints about that tweet are out of line. Not everything the haters say is wrong. That's just a fact. In the LNC membership group, which is the productive group and not the cesspool, there's complaints about that tweet there, and I agreed with them there. Not everything opponents say are wrong. In order to be a healthy human being, you gotta be able to listen, even when it's somebody that's a terrible person. So, no, I'm sure what they're saying is they're blowing it really out of proportion and making it apocalyptic.
And the minute somebody says, well, this is not what you think it is, and all of a sudden they engage in name-calling.
Yeah, it isn't, but people of good faith can read that tweet in a very bad way.
I just said, hey, it's turning government on itself. What's wrong with that?
I don't like it. I don't like that tweet at all, whatsoever. However, I know the context and the heart of the people. I don't want to be interrupted in the middle. Heart of the people, I see it, Sarah, like burrito, you know, doing it, and the bad interpretations, I don't even want to say bad interpretations, because they could, the good faith negative interpretations are not what was intended. But not everything on Twitter is a home run.
No.
You screw up. Sometimes the way you're hearing it in your head is not the way it's being received. But communication is primarily upon the communicator. If a lot of people are taking it not the way you intended it, you said it wrong. So we are not always going to be perfect.
No.
But people coming at you with all the name calling, I'm not going to be receptive to that.
I'm not either.
But there were people who very respectfully wrote the LNC. They all got a very respectful response.
Yeah.
There was a large discussion about it, and we pretty much came to the agreement that it wasn't a good tweet. We're not going to defend something that wasn't a good tweet, but I'm not going to demonize the team that made it because I know their intentions.
Oh, I'm not demonizing them at all.
No, not you.
No, I know. But my argument is that if you're going to have an objection, be rational about it and have good reasons, not just simply say, oh, that's not libertarian, or you're a bully, or you're a name calling, all that crap. Have a legitimate, reasonable reason and back it up with good logic to do so. And what you're describing with the respectful notices to the LNC about it, that's fine.
Oh yeah, we got.
But there are people out there who don't do that because they don't take the time to process it in a rational manner.
You want to hear something funny? The people that write and actually get results are not the same people who bitch on social media.
Of course not.
There are a certain group of people in the party that when they have a problem, they actually write the LNC.
Yeah.
And they get results.
Yeah.
You go and complain on social media, I can just tell you, my view of that is you are virtue signaling. You're doing a performative act that goes, look how righteous I am. If you haven't written, people got on my case for complaining. Please don't do that. Thank you. For complaining about Steve Dasbach doing that. He doesn't write us. All he does is complain on social media. And I'm sorry, I am going to point that out. That's not productive. Everyone who has written the LNC respectfully, we get some trolls who all they do is write and post like they're posting.
The last time I wrote anything LNC was when I was giving them a complete a reverse and forward paintbrush bitch slap over how they were treating you.
Yeah, well,
that was months ago.
And let me tell you,
I wrote Krause one question about something regarding my membership, but that was technical in nature.
Oh, Krause is wonderful too.
Yeah, and that was that was minor, but that wasn't a criticism of anything they were doing. It was, hey, I don't understand this. Can you explain it? And he did. So fine.
Everyone who has had suggestions or issues with social media that has written and not name called in their writing has gotten a lot of attention from the social media team, who listens to them, writes them back, and they have a dialogue. But if you're just going to go on Facebook and do this performative virtue show, you're probably not going to get paid attention to, because it's a look at me. It's a try hard look at me.
One of the things that came up there, and I'm going to ask this question because I don't know the answer to it, is someone made a comment on that page and said, hey, are the people who are doing Twitter the same ones
no,
on the
they're
Facebook
not.
page? They're different.
They're totally different because it's totally different mediums.
That's fair, because they were expressing concern. They weren't complaining. They weren't having a bitch fest, but they expressed concern that the messaging in either place weren't in sync.
Yeah, no, they're not the same.
Okay.
Facebook is for boomers,
Yeah.
and messaging to boomers is different than messaging to shitlords on Twitter. If you don't recognize...
Where does an extra like me fit in?
Yeah, if you don't recognize that Twitter is for shitlords, you're a boomer who doesn't understand Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean...
Fair enough.
And when you are in that kind of murky waters on Twitter, the chances of getting some things as a miss are much higher because you're really, really straddling the line. Let me tell you something sad.
Put my hand here. It looks like a wristwatch.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We've done a lot of really great positive posts.
Yeah.
You want to know what happens to them? It gets zero engagement.
Mm-hmm.
All you people who are complaining, you're not retweeting the good posts. You're not engaging with the good posts. What you're doing is retweeting and engaging with the bad ones.
Which means you're out there looking for things to criticize.
And you're
rather than being
signal
objective about it.
boosting what you don't like. And when it's things that you do like, you're ignoring it.
And not giving them the proper boosting that you
Right.
Yeah.
The fact is, if you look at our Twitter analytics, all the posts, oh, that's a great post, you're not engaging with it. You're not retweeting it.
Glossing over it.
You know?
Which means you're looking for an excuse to argue.
And here's what's funny.
And I'll admit, on Twitter, I do that too, but I troll the left on that.
Oh, I signal boost the stuff I like, or I'm trolling the left. Or the right too. I troll the right quite a bit.
I troll
actually.
them. I troll them if they act stupid.
Which they do.
And there's a lot of act stupid on Twitter.
The left tends to be stupider on Twitter because they're more
vocally
they're
stupid
more
on Twitter.
numerous too.
Yeah.
And Twitter amplifies their voices, so it
especially
keeps
with the bots, yeah.
ending up in my feed.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If you think that on Twitter the National Party should be promoting candidates more, I agree. But you want to know how those... You got to understand algorithms. How a candidate post, how many people it gets seen by, depends upon our ratios, our reach of former posts. Mm-hmm. And if we want our candidates to get reach, we have to do popular non-candidate posts. And unfortunately, the popular posts are the negative ones. If you want positive posting, you've got to reward that.
And the same thing is true at the state affiliate levels too.
It's true.
Because while the state may do the exact same thing you're talking about, National can retweet that to give some extra good publicity there, and it goes the other direction also.
But we have to have the power, and the way you get the power is from your own original tweets, not retweets.
Right.
And you got to have a consistent history of having a wide reach. Our posts that have a wide reach are the ones you guys are bitching about. Mm-hmm. You either want the National Party to have zero reach, or you need to start signal boosting the stuff you like. Yeah. It's market forces.
The milk and toast stuff is not getting anywhere. The edgy stuff is what's getting the reactions. Recognize that. Push the positive edgy.
Yeah, it's... If you want something different, reward what you want, and
ignore the stuff you
ignore
don't.
what you don't, and suffocate it. Yeah. Suffocate it through...
Let it die from apathy.
Right. Suffocate it through, I'm going to ignore that.
Yeah.